killing nurse. You need to tell us
Vickie
about
Dawn
this.
Jackson. It was
What's her name again?
Vickie Dawn Jackson,
Vickie
and it was
Dawn
Nocona
Jackson.
General Hospital, and
In Texas.
yeah, it was Chance. I want to say it was Dingler and Fenolio were the two doctors that we sued in that case as well. And they basically the Fenolios and Dingler controlled Nocona General Hospital. It's like a 14-bed hospital up in Monte County, and they actually had a higher death rate than Parkland. And they had a nurse.
14 beds.
Yeah, and the joke was they had a nurse that named Vickie Dawn Jackson, who's now, I believe, still in jail, and she would mercy kill people. So, like the joke was when Vickie worked, they called it the graveyard shift because somebody would go to the graveyard, and if you hit your call button too many times, she would be like at the nurse's station, and go, "I'll go take care of this," and boom, she'd go in and hit him with some Mivacron and would kill him.
Kill him because of pushing the call button
You pissed off Vickie.
The angel of death.
Yeah.
I'm looking her up.
The angel of death.
Yeah.
What the heck? How did you even get this case? Who came to you? I have so many questions.
The Williams boys were our first client up there. And it was through my ex's family had a ranch up in Monte County. And her dad knew some of the families. And next thing you know, I mean, in a small town like that, where all of a sudden, like all these people are dying when they go to the hospital, it's kind of like, okay, so Mr. Williams, in that case, he had a decubus ulcer on his heel, and they had sent him over from the nursing home just for the decube, and boom, he's dead.
What's a decube?
Like when you lay too long in a position, your skin will begin to deteriorate and it gets infected.
Bed sores?
Yeah, bed sores. Yeah.
Okay.
And he just had one on his heel. I mean, other than that, he was totally fine. And she actually had gone to high school with the oldest son, and I'm drawing a blank right now on his name, because it was typical small town Texas where they all had different nicknames. You know, my name's Jay, but I go by, Larry or whatever. And it's killed me right now because I cannot think of his first name. And so Vickie tells him, she goes, "Yeah, your dad went outside and smoked and told me he was ready to meet his maker." And he's like, "My dad never would have said something like that." Wow. And so he starts talking to other people, and they're like, "Yeah, my dad died over there. My mother died over there." And so they all decided that they didn't want a local lawyer. They wanted somebody from outside of there. And because of my ex's family up there, they knew that I was a lawyer, and so that's kind of how we got those cases. And then another lawyer involved. It was a relative of his that died up there, and I don't remember. Donna Bowen there was a 14-year-old girl who was in there for an arm surgery, and she'd had this arm surgery, and she's the one who actually, if it hadn't been for her living, it probably still would be going on. And she
was 14.
Yeah,
I think she was 14. Yeah. She
or the patients were one elderly and the only 14 years old was another one.
Yeah, she was in there and hit a call button because she had some pain. She wanted some pain pills. And Vickie goes in, and like when you have an IV, and it's real easy just to put a syringe in there and squirt it in there, and you don't see a hole in the arm or anything. So she would just squirt it through the IV, and you would never even know it was there. And next thing you know, she codes, and another nurse came in there and saved her, and so she didn't die. And she was able to identify that Vickie had come into the room and then all of a sudden injected something into her IV, and she was paralyzed. And that's what started the whole deal. So then we started looking into it, and we started looking at the amount of Mivacron, and they were using more Mivacron at this small hospital in Nocona than they were at Parkland through the whole Parkland health system.
What the heck?
Wow.
Yes, and it was crazy, and they had a higher death rate percentage than Park. I mean, it was crazy when you started looking at it.
Crazy when you figured it all out. That had to be what
you see the numbers and you just start adding stuff up.
And so the Texas Rangers got involved, the FBI was involved, and they came in, they exhumed some bodies, and they two of our clients' bodies were exhumed, and they were actually sent to Quantico, Virginia, to the FBI lab up there. And they developed a test for Mivacron in tissue samples because nobody had ever done this one before. And they actually developed a test for it that now they can test for it when people die from that. But basically, you just asphyxiate it. It's a paralytic that just freezes your body. And you're mentally there, but you just can't breathe, and you just literally just suffocate.
That's like torture.
I just looked it up, and wildly, they on Sins of the South, which is new on Oxygen, episode 12, which just came out like a few weeks ago, is her story.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Sins of the South.
That's
on
funny.
Oxygen.
Wow.
And her story is called Code Blue, a Lone Star State Serial Killer. And it's episode 12 on Oxygen. And this whole show just came out in August.
All about her.
No, just that episode.
Oh.
But these are all crazy stories from the South. And she's the most recent, episode 12. And they said what she did was the cruelest way you could kill people. And she's a serial killer.
And she's so stupid. Okay, so they come in these little vial boxes, and they'll have like a batch and a lot on there, so you can trace back. Like if there's recalls and stuff, they can trace it. And she was taking the empty vials in the boxes home, but wasn't like throwing them away. And so when the Texas Rangers raided her house,
that's her.
Were they trophies to her?
I don't know, but she had like all the empty boxes and vials at her house.
I bet they were trophies.
So with the box and lot number, you can trace it back through the distributors of where it was sold to. And it's like, okay, they all went to Nocona. And so she ended up going away to the penitentiary. But
And did they ever say why she did it?
Yeah.
No, she's just kind of crazy.
No, and it's weird because like the Williams boys went to high school with her in Nocona. And they were like, we never had any issues with her. We never argued with her. We never got into a fight with her. And they had no idea why she did that to their dad.
Oh,
or anybody else.
Yeah.
Like that's.
You said how many?
I think that there was only 10 that kind of got pulled out that the FBI really looked at. I think the number is higher, probably somewhere 100 or more that died up there.
Wow.
And I don't have any proof of that other than just looking at the documentation of all the deaths and how many vials of Mivacron had been gone through and things like that. But
they got her for 10. That's
yeah.
I mean that's a lot.
She's a serial killer.
A trial?
I don't remember if they tried her or they pled it out. And we actually, as much as I hate to say this, Hurricane Katrina, the one good thing it did for us is they had filed a motion to dismiss. And we were supposed to have a hearing in New Orleans on the day that Katrina hit New Orleans in the Fifth Circuit, and it wiped out the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And they denied the defense motions, and that's what eventually got the case resolved.
They said in December there were 11 deaths with another 14 in January.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a lot.
It's been a lot. Yeah.
But they only got her for 10.
In a 14-bed hospital.
14-bed hospital, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
What's crazy is that nobody even figured it out earlier.
Yeah.
This is odd.
Over 100?
But she had keys to the pharmacy. So she could go in there after she would take them off the crash cart. She would just go back in the pharmacy, pull some off the shelf, and just go stick it back in the crash cart.
Why did she have keys to the pharmacy?
In a small hospital.
Oh, because
they were just hanging there in the nurse's station.
I wonder what made her do that, like suddenly.
That's what I'm wondering. Just crazy.
So it's funny you say that. So my old he's actually passed away now, but Mike Parham, I love him to death. But we get a call from Time Magazine, and they want to talk to us about this. And so Mike buzzes me. I go over to his office, and he's like, Time's on the phone. They want to talk to us. And the reporter asked that question, why do you think she did that? And he goes, I don't know, maybe it's like a Son of Sam thing, and she was talking to dogs. And I looked at him like, are you fucking serious? Did you really just say that? He's like, I don't know. What makes a sociopath a sociopath? I don't know what ticked her off to do it.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Yeah. It just started killing people.
Now I'm going to watch that on Oxygen.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So thanks. I'm actually going to watch it.
Yeah.
I know Skip Bayless wrote a really good article in Texas Monthly about it. And he really...
I saw that too, but I can't. I'm not on Texas Monthly. So
yeah, he did a really, really, really good article about it. And, but yeah, it was wild. So I mean, we've seen just some weird stuff over the years.
I want to know what else.
And it says she grew up like a normal person with no issues, and like she seems pretty normal.
Just out of nowhere.
That's so scary.
Like she just snapped suddenly.
Yeah, and you just never know what. I mean,
weird. I wonder if she says on Sins of the
I don't know. And I'm wondering if they interviewed her in prison or something.
I think it looks like, I don't know. It looks like they might have, so I'm just curious.
I don't know, but I'm definitely going to go check. Is it on Hulu or Netflix?
Well, it's Oxygen, so I don't know if that's on what network or what streaming service Oxygen is on. Maybe Hulu. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Probably.
it's probably worth watching now that we know Jay was part of it.
Yeah,
I actually want to watch all of them.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Okay. I'm actually
Peacock.
Peacock.
You can watch it on Peacock.
All right.
There we go.
Okay, so Peacock had the Olympics on this year. Did y'all watch?
Yes.
I thought
I did not watch one single.
Oh my God, I watched all the
anything.
gymnastics and the swimming and the track and field.
And the diving.
Badminton, ping pong.
I
was
just
watching all
love the
y'all
races
stuff.
because we were screaming at the TV. I had a girls trip and we were all in the movie room screaming like go, 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 go. This was so fun.
I did see clips of the breakdancing.
yes.
It was so
That was
bad.
kind of
How about
funny.
you, Jay?
I actually watched the Kevin Hart and
I
Kenan
didn't
Thompson
watch
deal.
that.
And
Was
so
it
I
good?
got my Olympic feed through them of what was going on. And the ironic part is, okay, so with the taco deal, they had the guy on there who won the Nathan's hot dog eating contest this year. And I was grossed out by it. He ate 12 pounds of hot
Oh
dog.
my
I
God,
can't watch
how-
that.
It was just nasty. And he has this WWE looking belt that he wins for. And so they had this huge pile of escargot. And they were like, how fast can you eat this? And he's literally just grabbing handfuls
no.
of escargot and putting it in his mouth and slamming water. And I'm just it just grossed me out.
Why does that gross you out? You watch Jelly Bean Rolly.
Yeah.
No, because
Good point.
in the eating contest, they're dipping it in water, and it looks
Yes.
so disgusting. And
they
they're
slurp
stuffing
it.
their mouth, and they're in such a hurry. The mukbangs are not a race. The mukbangs, they're
enjoying
taking a
it.
bite and
Sexy.
they're chewing. Honestly, there are some girls who do the crumble cookies, and they look very pretty. A lot of them. I told Hope to start doing it. I was like, you should do this in a swimsuit, do mukbangs and eat. And because, she's a foodie too.
Yeah.
And so she goes, well, I could try it, but you're not supposed to speak. You just eat, and they want to hear you take a bite and chew and swallow. Some people are upset if they don't see you swallow because there's rumors
I have seen.
that
heard.
they chew, and then when the camera clips, they're spitting it out.
Yeah.
Not gain weight. But there's also people like Jelly Bean Sweets. She has a feeder account, meaning people are paying her to gain weight. The more weight she gains, the more money she's making.
I've heard of that too.
Yeah, fever. We live in a wild time, and I'm-
I picked the wrong career. I'm just a fat kid because I like to eat. Never mind.
Oh my God.
Jay, you could get on
I can't
TikTok.
TikTok and make money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different than the food race.
I'm the opposite. I'd rather watch someone compete than just
No, I can't. eat
No.
You know, those competitors are skinny too.
They're
There's
so
little
skinny,
skinny
I
Asian
know.
dude that
I
can knock
know.
some shit
Matt
down.
Stoney.
I wonder, do they
Matt
get
Stoney,
sick
is that who you're
after?
talking- yeah.
I just don't understand. No, these people are actually eating and enjoying their food. So I like to see them enjoy it. The Wingstop's a big one too.
Wingstop.
Yeah.
I do not
Suck-
like it when they have
suck
their
the
hands
bone
in
off. Took the meat off that bone.
lobster things.
Oh, I don't like that one either. It's not my favorite. But
No.
I don't know. There's a guy, Keith something, who's
Keith, but he's a
critic.
critic. That's
Yeah.
different.
but he got famous on TikTok for eating.
Yeah.
See?
It's a big deal.
You're on your way.
But he's a critic.
He is a
He's-
critic.
He
He's
speaks
kinda
about
like
it,
Jay.
and
Yeah.
he talks
And
about
he
the
gives him a
flavor,
rating.
and gives him a rating. That's
I like that
different.
too.
Like, I can handle
you're,
that.
You're going in the right direction.
Because it's like, okay, I might want to try something that I haven't been there, and I'm seeing something different. I'll try that.
Yeah.
But like someone's just eating like that, I don't. Unless they're naked.
I like LABs.
Unless that's it.
He'll eat a cactus. He'll eat
Okay, that's
a
weird.
gallon of expired milk. It's entertaining.
I'm trying to remember. There was a taco joint that we went to, and they actually had cactus taco. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
Nopal.
a gas station in Plano.
Nopal.
It's called Tiger Mart, and it's on Park Boulevard. As you go over 75 going west on the right hand side, it used to be like a Shell gas station, and they actually had cactus tacos in there.
Yeah, nopal.
Yeah, and they actually were really good. I was kind of surprised.
I'm not a
taco.
fan, but
Yeah.
that's pretty common. And you were talking about bugs and chapulines and El Come Taco. They have chapulines, which are like grasshoppers. and they're fried and salted. And,
Is it good?
I mean, when I was younger, I used to eat them as snacks. Like they would sell them in
Were they
little
good?
bags. Yeah, it's like a little crunchy protein.
I've eaten grasshopper before.
Have you?
Have you really?
Yeah.
It's crickets.
Like,
Not
it
grasshoppers,
was
they're
a-
crickets.
Yeah, it was high school.
Challenge.
We were in class, and I don't know. It was
You lost some
biology.
challenge
No,
or
it was like a
something.
biology class, and the teacher was like bringing ants and stuff.
Yeah, I've
If
had
you ate
ants,
it,
chocolate
so-
covered ants.
Yeah, I caught a grasshopper outside. And they threw it in the
Snails.
microwave, and I ate it.
Well, these were like fried and then they're tossed in like chili powder and lemon.
That actually sounds really good.
It's not bad. And in Mexico City, they sell them on the streets and they're called chapulines. And then they sell tacos at El Come. You should try that. It's a pretty good place too. I don't know if you've tried
How
it.
about lenga? Have you had a lenga taco?
Lengua.
Lengua.
what's
No,
that?
I'm not
That
very
is
big on
tongue.
lengua. Yeah.
Oh, tongue, I love that.
Yeah.
What
I
is
love
that?
Tongue.
Tongue.
Tongue. I've never
Yeah,
had
and
that.
It's really-
sesos.
really
Sesos. Have you all ever had sesos?
What's that?
It's the brain.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I have, and I'm
yeah.
not big on it. I had one of my really dear friends growing up. His parents, they owned the Plano Tortilla Factory. So that's when I learned about menudo and barbacoa
Yeah.
as a child. And that's I had that.
Barbacoa is really good. And that's the cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do
The
that.
cheek, and then there's
I know you'll do
tripas,
that.
tripas, which is the small intestine,
Yeah.
fried up real good. That's one of my favorites.
She knows
I don't know about. I
that.
don't know about
I don't know
intestines.
either.
Yeah,
I'll go brain and everything, but I don't know.
I mean
about
it's like
intestines.
chitlins.
Is that a tooth?
No, it's like it's fried intestine.
Oh,
And then menudo is also the stomach lining.
Yeah.
It's excellent when you're hungover.
That's exactly what Jesse used to tell me. He's like,
Yeah.
this is the best hangover cure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah,
What other
in
crazy-
Mexico, we don't waste the cow. We eat everything.
what the
Same
udder?
in Austria too.
You eat the udder?
The udder.
Yeah.
I saw something from
Probably.
Austria that made me think of you. I'm trying to remember now what it was.
Oh, that they were almost an ISIS attacked on Taylor Swift.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Vienna, Austria, this last week.
What? So talk about that. What happened?
There was a threat. An
She
ISIS
canceled
threat.
her.
Yeah.
So 3
Show.
concerts were canceled because they were having this. They literally foiled this crazy terror attack in Vienna, Austria. My beautiful, safe country at
It's a
one
beautiful
point.
city.
Wow.
I mean, I cannot get over what's going on. That is really sad. But yes, that's
I'm
why you
trying to
thought of
remember
me.
when we went to Vienna. We did the horses.
Lipizzan horses.
Yeah, we did those, and I remember the hotel that's famous for the chocolate cake, the sauce.
Sacha.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we did that, and I'm trying to remember the palettes. This now I'm like,
Schönbrunn.
yes, it was beautiful. No, I really liked it. It was a very
It's
beautiful
so
city.
beautiful.
I know she's
Yeah.
very homesick.
I'm always homesick. Tell us about what else do you want to tell us about your office and everything you provide that I may not have said, but you, like 95% of your cases are settled without litigation. That's a high percentage.
We're fortunate enough that we are able to settle a lot of cases, and I think it's because a lot of carriers know we work every case as just as though it's going to go to trial, and they know that we've tried stuff in the past and we've had good results with it, that we'll still go ahead and try it. And I have a different approach than some of my friends. I'm not very obnoxious. We just settled a trucking case, and the general counsel from the trucking carrier, I was dealing directly with him, and he actually called and thanked me for being polite to them. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, I've never had a plaintiff's lawyer be nice to our claims manager or to me. They're usually very rude. And I said, well, David, I know that you're about to write me a very large check. And so I always figure it's easier for somebody who's nice to you to write that check than somebody who's just a complete jerk. And I said, but, also if you start being a jerk to me, then I'm, a jerk back. But so we usually have a pretty good working relationship with people and, able to get things done. A lot of our clients don't want to go through 2 or 3 years of litigation, and some don't mind, and I don't mind doing it either. It just, it depends on the case. Like we just did a Lexus seatback case, and it's one of those that should have been settled without filing, but we did, and a year and a half later, it settled for basically what Lexus could have put. I don't know if I was supposed to.
We can cut it out.
Okay.
If you want that.
We're not live.
An automobile manufacturer could have settled a case for basically the same amount of money that was settled for a year and a half later without us and them spending a lot of money on the case.
On lawyers. Yeah. What else? Do you have any other crazy stories?
No, just I've been very blessed and have met just some really random people and traveled a lot, and it's a small world, and it's always fun to get out. I'm glad we're able.
Do you have those big billboards?
No, you know what's funny is I never had really marketed. All of our stuff always came through other lawyers. And it was basically a referral-based practice. And then when COVID hit, I've got a really interesting background in that my dad owned a bail bonding company. So I worked at a bail bonding company when I was like 10 years old.
Oh my God.
Like for jail?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, I was like meeting like pimps and hoes when I was like 10 years old. I mean, things that most kids should not be around. It's like CPS now probably would have taken me away from my dad. But, you know, it was back in the day, and he had me when I wasn't with my mom, and, you know, he went to work and I had to go with him. So I met a lot of criminal defense lawyers. And so when I first started practicing, I had a really good referral network from criminal lawyers. And actually some of the best cases I've ever gotten have been from criminal lawyers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so then when COVID hits, so many of them either died, retired, moved out of state or whatever. And up until that point, had never done any marketing at all. And a guy that I knew that used to be on local news, he was like, you need to start doing some stuff. And that's when we started doing, you know, because before that I had like my social media was private. I don't really, you know, that's just not me. I don't like sticking stuff in people's faces or whatever. And I live for the moment. So I don't like we went and saw Sebastian Maniscalco Saturday night.
Yeah.
He was really,
he was
really
in
fun.
Dallas.
Yes, he was great. And yeah, the people I was with, they were taking their phones out and they're taking pictures and posting and crap. And I'm like, I'm living in the moment. I want to be here and enjoy it, and I don't really care what other people are seeing what I'm doing, whatever. But so Ron had talked me into making social media public, and then starting to do some of the marketing stuff. So that's when we started doing the Instagram, the social media, and then
Ron Corning?
Yeah. Ron did my stuff for about a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's better than doing like commercials.
Yeah. We did some OTT, the streaming stuff, and it just wasn't my deal. And same thing with like billboards and stuff. That's just not my deal. But I don't mind the SEO, LSA, GMB, that type of stuff, because now everybody's on Google and everyone's looking for everything on there. So, and it's amazing how many people that we have talked to that just based on your reviews that's why they choose you. And I'm like, I do that on Yelp looking for a restaurant, but I don't do that if my wife got killed and I'm looking for a lawyer. But there's a lot of people that do. Yeah. And I'm thankful for it. But
I also feel that like one doesn't really know what to do, so that's what they do.
Yeah.
And we had so many people that moved to Texas during COVID, and I think it used to be a different demographics in Texas where people always kind of knew each other, and they could ask like their neighbors and things like that. Hey, have you ever used somebody and that type of stuff? And then all of a sudden we get these influx from all these out of state people, and they don't really have that background, and they don't really know their neighbors, and so I think they go to the internet now to look for stuff.
Well, anybody else have any questions for Jay?
No, I feel like that was a lot of information.
Question?
No, yeah, you answered everything.
I know.
Excellent. Very interesting.
So, Gina, when are we going to play pickleball? I keep asking that one.
Got a little small fracture on my foot at the moment.
Is it a pickleball injury?
No, this was a beach in the sand injury. So,
that's right. Y'all were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So as soon as I'm back from this, we need to do a 2 Posh podcast beyond the table and do a little pickleball.
I'll be a
outing.
cheerleader.
I hear you have this like love-hate relationship with pickleball.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, I love it for a social fun thing. I think the competitive side of it is dumb. Like in terms of it being a sport, because it's really not. Anytime you can play something with a beer or a hot dog in your hand, it's like, I love cornhole, but cornhole's not, in my opinion, a sport. It's a fun game. Same thing on pickleball. Can a super athlete or some sort be better at it, make it look better, sure, but it's really not a sport.
So you're saying there's really no technique?
Very minimal. Very minimal.
I mean, the breakdancing is in the Olympics, and they're calling that a sport.
I'm a dancer, and I find that ridiculous.
I feel it's.
I
How do
can't
you
even
judge that?
believe that breakdancing.
How
is
do
in the
you
Olympics.
judge that?
Before they would put actually real dancing in. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not a breakdancer, but yes,
I think I have to agree with Gina on that. A friend of mine actually has a pickleball court in his backyard. They redid a tennis court into a pickleball court, and his neighbor across the street. I'm not a golfer, so I don't really know golfers, but he'd won like a major, and I guess was like kind of a big deal golfer. And there was this other, Mark is like, I don't know, 78, and some doctor buddy of his is in his 70s, and all four of us were playing, and this old doctor was kicking this pro golfer's butt in pickleball.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, he's like retired, and he's like mid-40s, and I'm like, hey, what'd you do? He's like, oh, I played golf. And I'm kind of like, okay. And then afterwards, like Googled it. I'm like, oh God, I feel like a complete idiot because I had no idea this guy was.
I bet he liked that though.
I don't know. I don't think he like getting beat up by like a 70-year-old urologist.
But the whole game of pickleball is designed to skill cap. You can't hit hard. You can't step here. You can't do this. It's all designed to stop people that could be better from being better. So that's why I think it's a fun game. It's just not a sport.
But it's actually dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's number one right now, right?
It really is. And I thought this was...
how?
Okay, so my friend that has the
Two
pickleball
people
court,
now.
he trips.
What?
He's going for
They
a ball
fall.
and falls, hits his elbow and shatters his elbow.
Can't you do that playing tennis?
Yeah, but the
Well,
difference
that's
is
what he's
there's
trying to say.
it's like a game that a lot of people that would not be playing a sport are doing, and so
Oh,
the
they're getting
true
injured.
lack thereof athleticism is coming out, and they're getting injured. And now some athletes get hurt, of course, too. But there's a lot of non-athletes getting hurt
I
playing
see.
pickleball.
Got it.
So
And a doctor over at the Carroll Clinic told him he is seeing more injuries now from pickleball
Yeah.
than from anything else.
yeah,
What?
And I was shocked. But yeah, he had to do a complete elbow replacement on my friend.
Oh my God.
Oh, from playing pick. And
is
the
it
sad
Dr.
part is-
Worrell?
Yeah, Worrell.
Oh,
yeah.
he's who did my elbow.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah,
Oh my
he's
God.
Mark.
No
And so-
way.
It's so funny because Mark spent all this money restriping his tennis court, redoing everything. Literally, it's been used 2 times. And
Oh
breaks his
my
elbow,
God.
and it has not been touched since.
Yeah,
Of course.
He's like,
some
no,
trauma
no,
there.
nobody can
Wanna
use
go
it.
back to that.
Wow.
Make that a cornhole spot now.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But that's funny that he did your elbow as well. Yep.
Yeah,
That's the end of the
shattered my
world.
elbow from
Yep.
basketball. Yeah,
He's a great doctor.
Oh, he's
Remember,
wonderful.
He did my mom's as well.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The
That's
world
really
is so small.
I know, that's
Shout out to
bizarre.
Dr.
Okay,
Daniel
shout out to
Worrell.
Yeah,
Dr. Worrell at the Carroll
Carroll
Clinic.
Clinic.
Yes.
What a homie.
How funny.
Yeah, that's really funny. But once
right.
this foot's better, we're gonna make it happen.
Should we go
Once
to
this is
our
better.
segments? Will you play
Yeah.
segments with us?
Sure. What segments?
Well, the first one
Good
will be a
luck, Jay.
question of the day.
Oh
Yes.
gosh, the day
Yeah.
starting him off easy, huh?
The two posh girls ask the question of the day.
All right. So, I used this one already, but I really
doing it
liked
again?
it.
Oh my
I
God.
really liked it.
Our
And-
guest answers first, Jay.
Yes,
Good luck.
and I definitely want to hear this from you. So, again, conspiracy theories.
What about him?
I want to hear if you believe in them, and tell me one that you believe in.
I think there are some conspiracy theories out there that are probably true. And I'm trying to think of one right now that I can instantly say I believe. Like I do believe that there are aliens.
I was gonna come up with that.
And what form?
Really?
I mean, I just think we would be naive to think we're the only thing in this universe.
I agree.
Heard that a lot.
And now with the stuff that's starting to come out with these fighter jets, where they're seeing the orb there, and all of a sudden it just disappears. There's something going on there.
Yeah, I'll go even further. I think they're living amongst us.
I'm not 1,000% convinced of that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, reptilians, the Greys.
My mom has a
Nordics.
friend whose husband said he was abducted by aliens.
I believe it.
In Germany. He said
And she believes him.
I don't know if I believe him.
Oh, you don't?
I
I
I
thought you
had
did.
no idea. It was crazy talk for me. I mean, I've never heard
Can we
anything
get
like
him
that.
on the show?
Exactly.
Come on.
I will say
I
this
can
much.
ask.
My uncle, and you're old enough, not trying to make any
Thanks,
age
Jay.
statements. Well, no, Marcella and Gino probably aren't paying attention. But do you remember when Reagan was president, they did the SDI, that Strategic Defense Initiative? It was like a Star Wars program. Okay, so my uncle was one of the lead scientists on that. And he actually, I used to joke when I was in high school that he developed the reentry system for the space shuttle. The tiles that flew off that time, that was what Wally had designed, and which almost caused it to blow up. And when he died, there were certain government agencies that showed up at his widow, my dad's sister's house, and they wanted to know everybody he had talked to, like in the last 6 months, who had been there to visit him. And they literally took her computer from their house without a search warrant or anything, and took it, did something, whatever, and brought the computer back. And I think they went through to check to see if Wally had emailed or what he had done, and he had been to Area 51 before, but he would never tell us what was out there. So yeah, I think there's things like that go on that we'll never know about.
Yeah, 100%. The all these crazy statues and buildings that were made that nobody can explain.
Okay, so we'll totally get into that now. Cruz has got me. Okay. So how do you explain this one? If you look at the pyramids in Mexico, like at Chichen Itza, and then you look at the pyramids in Egypt, they are within like a half of inch of each other in their dimensions, and they're on the exact same parallel line. So how did these people thousands of years ago, who obviously we didn't have Twitter or TikTok back
Or
then.
did we?
Or did we?
There's a huge thing that we're actually in decline. We're not actually as far in technology as we think. Technology was better back then.
Yep.
But a great reset restarted us.
I believe in that.
But how else could they have known that?
But they say that about these crazy churches in all over Europe too.
Yes.
How could they have painted that and built it when they had nothing? How?
Now, the one thing I will disagree with Gino on, I do not believe the Earth is flat. I do believe the Earth is round, and I do not believe
I don't either, but
that the moon landing was a Star Wars set.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
that
Moon
was
landing was
you're
so
outnumbered on that
fake.
one.
That did not happen.
That was
I'm
so
sure.
fake.
that's fake.
I mean, how come we haven't gone back?
I don't know.
That's when
A
you
lot
have
of people
to-
say there's no reason because we already went.
Oh,
That's her
baloney.
argument. I
Yeah.
believe we did.
Yeah,
But we're
well,
still going
if
into
we could-
space.
But we're still going to space. I mean, there's those poor people that just went up there for Boeing, and it's worse than an American flight. It's like, I'd rather be delayed 3 hours than, you're going to be up here for a year.
Oh no.
Yeah, do you know what I'm talking
Allegedly.
about? They went to that space shuttle, and now they got to wait for like an Uber to pick them up in outer space to bring them back to America.
Panic attack.
Yeah.
Because they're stuck in the space station.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
heard about that.
Pure panic attack. That would
Supposedly.
And isn't that from Russia though, right?
Yes.
From Russia,
supposedly.
yeah.
Gino saying supposedly.
The Challenger did not have a crew on board.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Well, they're all still alive.
They're all still alive.
They're all
I
still
saw
alive.
that.
Yeah, I
too.
saw that too.
Challenger crew did not perish in the Challenger explosion.
So did Kennedy die in a plane crash?
Kennedy
JFK Jr.
died in a plane crash, but he was killed. It wasn't an accident. Yeah.
Sounds right to me. Sounds right to me.
This will never get on YouTube. We're
there's
gonna be flagged.
There's some people that think that he never died. That it was like a.
There's an underground place they all go. They sign
I've
the
heard.
contracts.
Yeah.
Oh, Gino.
Elvis is still alive. He's working
Oh,
at a
God,
Waffle
yeah.
House in like Memphis or something.
Tupac.
They go underground.
Exactly.
Tupac.
Tupac's still alive.
Prince.
Yeah.
He's the basketball player and his daughter.
Oh,
Kobe
yeah.
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh
Michael
my God, you
Jackson.
guys, this.
Yeah, I feel a lot of those people died because of, and this is a conspiracy theory, but they knew stuff. They were going to let stuff out. And that's what happens.
You also have a contract date. Your contract runs out on your fame, and it's you submit to the price
After
gotta
you
pay
sell
for the
your
gas.
soul.
Oh my
That's when
God.
you sign your soul.
All right. Does anyone have any gossip?
Um,
Gossip. You know, any gossip? You have any Britney Spears gossip?
Mom really wants to know about Britney.
I don't know who Britney Spears
I'm
is.
just
I've
kidding
never
with
heard
him.
of her.
He could never tell us if he knew.
And the funny part is, as we were sitting here talking, well, hold a second.
Did she text?
Her brother was calling me.
no way.
Yeah, yeah. And Brian was sitting here text. There's some stuff going on with her, and I shouldn't say that. There's some stuff going on with her brother.
Oh,
it's a complicated story.
yeah. I would never put you in a bad place to tell.
I will say this much. Her dad is not the person that the media has made him out to be. And her brother is not the person that the media has made Brian out to be. And it's truly sad on what people that have never met anyone involved with that family would say or do.
I think that's fair.
When they don't know the true story of what's really going on.
I know you're very close with them, so
I've known them for a very long time.
And that's really sad.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's different.
He's like, and that's all I can say.
No, I know. That's all I can say. I know that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what.
Will we ever get Britney back? Will she have a comeback?
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever will or won't.
Yeah.
Well, you got her sister singing all her stuff, so it's okay.
That's not the same. What? Not even close.
Brit's just different. I can leave it at that.
Is she still alive?
She is still alive. I will 1,000%.
So that whole conspiracy, it's not even conspiracy. There used to be a Dallas DJ that said he saw that there was a car accident and
Justin
so all
and
that
Britney
is
died.
true. That's untrue.
No,
untrue.
No.
Yeah, you would know.
I will say, as of yesterday, I have to look at my phone. I don't know what time it was. 6:30. She was still alive.
This is Monday, August 12th. So.
Exactly.
2024.
She's definitely still alive.
She's still alive.
Yeah, she definitely was in Mexico. She definitely was still alive.
All right. So let's go to our special sexual health segment.
It's not going to be that bad.
Join us as we explore the latest in sexual health education, answer your burning questions, and break down the taboos that often surround this essential aspect of our lives. It's time for sexual health on the Too Posh Podcast.
She's very professional. I know. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go back to our yes, no, maybe list. Random sex. Random, someone you meet, you barely know their name. You into it?
Yeah.
Gina?
No.
No.
Jay?
No, I'm not.
No.
Absolutely no.
No.
Never, ever, no.
I
Get it, Cruz?
Quit it,
no
Cruz.
randoms, like just.
No random.
I have never had a one night stand in my entire life.
Same.
So what, the first time that, you meet them, go out with a couple dates.
That's not random.
That's different.
No, but I'm saying that's how you always
Gotta get to know him.
gotta get to know them.
Yeah.
Okay.
My number's pretty low.
I'm also
Cruz.
too terrified that I'm being murdered. So I've never gone home with anyone I do not know. I'm scared to death. I don't know you. The hell?
And then have you seen like the news where they're saying that Houston has like all these high rates of STDs down there?
I've heard that from Dallas.
And I'm like,
Dallas had a really
Yeah, I don't want
that
that either.
Yeah, that's one thing. I am clean. I know that.
Next
and,
time.
and I don't want to have any of those deals. And so that's kind of.
but there's always protection.
Of course.
I don't have any kids that I know of.
That you know of.
My office is convinced they do. I mean, we almost played a joke on them one day and had somebody show up and act like that they had they're my child. And, it would have been pretty funny if
That
they
would
pulled it
be
off.
really funny.
You may get a lot of views for that.
Yeah. The best one though was we had a receptionist who convinced the UPS driver that she was my illegitimate daughter.
No way.
Oh my God.
It was pretty funny.
That is hilarious.
She was mixed, half Hispanic, half African American, and so and he's like, "There's no," and so she had made this whole story about it was a one night stand with her mom, and so finally, instead of arguing with Alicia all the time, I'm like, "Yeah, it was just a bad decision on my part."
Bad mistake.
So, just
Went with it.
I'm making her work now.
Okay, so I don't know if we have time or not. This is really pretty funny.
Yeah.
So we used to take our office on a office trip every year, and so we had gone down to Costa Rica, and we're doing one of those like catamaran things where you have multiple people on there. And I was my best friend from undergrad owns a modeling agency in Atlanta, and Cindy and I had broken up, and she had set me up with one of her clients. And Mary Courtney's very attractive, and we're down there, and there's a couple next to us from Philly. African Americans, and Alicia comes walking around and she goes, "Daddy," and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know exactly where this is going, and she goes, "Daddy," and the black lady looks at the guy she's with, and he goes, "Hey, my fucking daughter." So I'm like, "Yeah, Alicia," and so then the girl I'd been dating looks at me like, "What?" And I'm like, "Just go along with it." And so I go back to the back of the boat, and there's this lady who had a autistic child, and you can ask my office this, they still this day laugh about this. She goes, "How can he get a girl like that and my son can't?" And I'm like, I'm below like an autistic person as far as my credibility on who I can go out with. Yeah,
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway, just like I said, my life has been just so random on just random stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah, no, that
is
is fun.
But
At least you have a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Are you dating?
No.
Oh, there's a
I'm not.
pause.
That's
Hold on.
pause.
I know.
Hold on. There's a
The
pause.
girl is like,
What does that
really?
mean?
What's the pause for?
Dating can be very vague.
Because you were dating, maybe?
I think the word was talking.
Talking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Okay.
words
That's
now.
before dating.
Yeah.
You talk.
And then some things happened and we're no longer talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And so the truth always comes out in the wash. And
I feel though dating nowadays is it's taken a turn, because when you date, like, it's okay to date multiple people because you're dating. I think I
Yes.
feel as long as you're straight up, I'm dating this person. I got to get to know people, and then when you find someone that interests you, then maybe you become official, or just be just dating that one person. But I feel it's okay, and this is just my opinion, that when you're dating, as long as you're straight up, I mean, that's how you do it. You date multiple people to find out who you're gonna like,
I agree with that.
right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing,
Gino?
as long as you're straight up with it.
This is funny though. So we had a dinner Saturday night, and I had taken our marketing people out to dinner, and we had given one of them a gift from Tiffany's, and she posted a deal about she had like a Tiffany's bag, and breakfast at Tiffany's was playing in the background. And I had multiple people I know. They're like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And the Aura ring, this thing. When we started doing social media, I had like some of my friends from high school like, "Did you get married?" And I'm like, "No, it's an Aura ring." And
wrong hand,
so, but
too.
yeah, just like random things like that. And then people all of a sudden they jump to a
Think.
conclusion. It's like, because Taryn had tagged me in the deal, and I'm like, "No, it's my social media people. That's not the deal." So,
Well,
oh well. It's one of those
anything
things.
else from anyone? Do you want
Girls
to say
are
anything
evil.
else? Girls are evil.
Other than that,
Jay, give everybody your social media,
Yeah.
where they can find you, and your website.
our website is very easy. It's jwins.com.
That's so great.
And so it's pretty simple. It's 7 letters. And then it's jmurray_law on Instagram.
Perfect.
And as I always tell everybody, we're always happy to answer questions no matter what it is. And even if it's not something that we can help you with, we'll always help you try to find somebody that can.
That is awesome. You're amazing. Thank you for
Well, thank
coming
you
on
for
the
having me.
show.
I know.
Thank you so much,
And
Jay.
thanks for eating the taco.
Yeah, that was
I got to take
You
some
were
pictures
such
of
a
that.
good
Because they are going to
sport.
crack up on that one. Yeah.
You want to take one more bite and see?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This
Jay,
is
you were
pretty
such
funny.
a good sport. We
Great
put you
sport.
right on the spot.